Hello and welcome to Connected, episode 592. It's made possible by our sponsors, Insta360, Century, and Squarespace. I am your annual chairman, Stephen Hackett, and I am joined by my friend Myke.
Hello. Oh, I became a friend today. That's nice. And I have the honor of introducing the defending keynote champion, Federico Vitici. Hi, Federico.
Hello, I'm here to defend myself. It's like doing a live podcast on Mastodon.
He's on trial. He's on trial. Federico, you are on trial for your crimes.
Yeah.
Today's show.
I'm ready.
No, we're playing the Rickies. We're doing that a little later on in the show. But we have some other business to attend to before we begin the game of all games.
Yeah, just a little follow out here at the top. It's 6 Colors Report Card Week here in our corner of the world. Jason published his report card. Federico and I put our full responses up that we wrote. We basically published, we didn't talk about it, but we basically published ours at the same time. Like, I hit publish on mine, and then I will go look at Feedbin and make sure that like everything's cool in my feed, especially in a long article like this. And at the top of it was Federico. So it's like, oh, we just dumped a bunch of words on everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But Myke, you guys also recorded Upgrade 604, where you forced Jason to answer his own questions, which is fantastic.
I love doing that because he thinks he can get out of it otherwise. And I won't allow it. So make him answer for himself, which he really did this year. If you haven't heard it, Jason's really answering for himself, and there's been a diversity of opinion about the episode, which was very fun.
And I think it he talks about it being we're just checking the vibes in the room, right? And I think it does a really good job of that. I think it continues to be a great thing in our community, and it's fun to get a long blog post out of it. So,
yep.
But it's also Samsung Unpacked Week, something that Jason is less excited about.
I think maybe if I suggested to him that we would talk about this, he would just leave the call. I don't think he would want to talk about this at all, but I do want to talk about it because it is. This is so Samsung do what Apple's going to start doing, which is 2 iPhone events a year. I actually think that what we're experiencing next week is the beginning of that, right? Like that will end up March, September, and then so next year's March event would actually include the iPhone 18 and the iPhone Air 2 or whatever, right? So we're going to do a split series. And this is what Samsung do. So they release the S26 phone, which is their main phone. They're going to do it different to Apple. They release their main phone at the beginning of the year. Then they release their folding phones at the end of the year. So they had that kind of split release schedule. And the S26, so the Galaxy S line has been getting a lot of criticism in the last few years because they are changing nothing year to year. Like if you think it's bad sometimes with the iPhone, like the Samsung Galaxy phone has looked the same and mostly been the same for about 3 to 4 years now. Mm-hmm. And they're doing a lot of software stuff. They're pumping this thing full of AI features, including a bunch of like image generation stuff in the gallery app now, which I think is terrible. Like changing imagery, like not good. Like I recommend. So The Verge put together one of their Galaxy Unpacked in 12 minutes videos. Yeah. If you scroll to the part of the video where they're showing the imagery stuff, you hear kind of gasps and laughter when they're showing the features in the gallery app, because it's like, what are we doing? Like you're just editing images in the Photos app. Anyway, but the phone this year got a pretty big new feature, and it's called Privacy Display. So this is only on the S26 Ultra, which is like their most expensive phone. But we've all seen this stuff, right? Where you see people have like a screen protector that they'll put on their phone or their computer or their tablet, and then when somebody's looking at it from the side, it looks black. And a lot of people will do this for work mandated security reasons, or maybe they just don't want any creepers. Samsung have developed a display technology that embeds this technology into the display panel, and you can choose to toggle the whole screen on and off this way. So you looking at it straight on it should look normal. I have questions about this. I'm looking forward to the reviews. Does it actually look normal? Does it change the brightness or whatever? Like, I'll be keen to see what people say about that when the reviews come out. You can turn the whole thing on so someone looking from the side won't see your screen, or you can have it be adaptive. So certain apps it will come on for, or password fields or notifications. So you can kind of have the pieces toggle on and off. I think that this feature is going to sell a lot of Samsung phones. I think this is like a good general user feature that they'll also be able to make great advertising for. Like, I think people are going to want this.
Yeah. This is already everywhere on Italian TV. I saw at least the commercial like 3 times today in the span of 40 minutes. And
Wow.
basically all of my real life friends have the privacy protector thing on their phones.
Really?
On. Yes, yes.
See, I don't know anyone that has one of these personally, but I see them, you know?
And I know why. I know why, because they spend a lot of time well, first of all, at the dance school where Sylvia teaches, so surrounded by lots of people, and they spend a lot of time on public transit.
Yes.
Where you're also surrounded by lots of people potentially, peeping over your shoulder, and so that's why they use it. And the thing that gets me, like Myke said, these protective films, they degrade the quality of your display, right? When you put them on, so it's sure they're protecting you from prying eyes when looking over your shoulder or from the side, but also they do degrade the overall quality of the screen for you, even if you're looking at the display straight ahead, like just front and center. So I'm curious to see if this Samsung solution is a better compromise in that it protects your privacy from the sides, but also it does not make the image quality worse for you, the main user. I think it's a genius feature that will sell phones, and if it works, right? If it works, and if it's not terrible from an image quality perspective, it'll become the sort of thing where people will say, well, the Samsung has this. Does the iPhone have it? So we'll see. But, leave it to Samsung to keep innovating in the display space, as always.
This is their thing, right? Especially displays. Like, this is what they do.
It's Samsung and LG. It's these two companies, Samsung and LG. So in this case, for phones especially and tablets, it's Samsung all the way.
I could imagine this becoming a feature that phones have, like, all phones they could do in a couple of years. Like, unless there is a downside that we don't know yet, right? And this is what I'm saying. I'm keen for the reviews. Like, I could see this just feels like a no-brainer. Like, I don't feel the need to have a privacy display all the time, but there would be certain things where I'm like, why not do that, right? Like, if I've got my bank app open or password fields or notifications, like, why would I not? And again, it's like, what's it going to feel like to use? Like, people always talk about phones on tables, right? Which is a thing I don't actually feel like people care about as much as it's spoken about in reviews, and they always show the wobbles or whatever. But does this mean you will never be able to read a notification unless you're looking straight on at your phone?
Yeah.
Right? Like, I wonder, like, in real life, what is this going to feel like? And I think I saw them say something like this location stuff. So maybe if you were at home, it would just never come on. So I'm keen to see, once people are actually living with this feature, how does it play out and how does it work? But the general concept of it is a brilliant one.
Yeah. Can I have a really quick unannounced tiny topic before we move on to the game?
Always.
Sure.
Very, very quick. So what I've seen in the past couple of weeks, the rise of these open claw alternatives made by other companies, and I wanted to talk about them very quickly. So first of all, sort of the people who are following this space are sort of settling on calling these things just claws, like as a category name almost. Like they're just calling them claws, right? As if it was like another type of application. The type of application in this case means it's a personal agent. That's what it is. And it's a personal agent that, in addition to responding to questions, does things for you. That's the idea.
Mm-hmm.
In the past 10 days alone, we have seen the Chinese AI companies try to rip off OpenClaw. So there's Kimi Claw, which is a thing now. There's a Kimi.
I don't like this claw. They don't need to be called claws.
they're doing it.
I know they're doing it, but I just want to express at this moment my distaste for that.
Yeah, and
we don't need to do that. Like, it doesn't mean anything.
I know. So Moonshot, the AI Chinese company that makes the model called Kimi, they have made Kimi Claw. Minimax, another Chinese AI company, just launched, I think today or yesterday, Mini Claw. So this is the same idea powered by Minimax. Then we have, I think the most interesting, actually the two most interesting of the bunch here, Perplexity. Perplexity yesterday rolled out what is called Perplexity Computer. I gotta say, great branding, great landing page. They really know how to do website design and presentation, all that sort of stuff. Perplexity Computer is kind of taking the idea of OpenClaw and running with it in a sandbox. So the idea is that you ask Perplexity Computer to do something, and it does the something for you. And the something can be create a web app for me, interact with this PDF, generate this kind of document, work with this spreadsheet. Like, it can be anything that LLMs can do. And they're doing this by leveraging, they're saying, 19 different models, because they're saying that, each model is good at something. And so maybe you want to use Gemini for something, or maybe you want to use Claude for design, but maybe you want to use OpenAI for, I don't know, context.
Okay.
So I took this for a spin because I'm a curious guy. And it's got the same problems that I'm running into with the other interesting product, which is Claude Cowork, which I know that also Myke has been playing around with lately. Both Claude Cowork and Perplexity Computer, they are taking some of the parts of OpenClaw that are fascinating, but they are limited by the fact that they're running in a virtual sandbox. And I think they're kind of failing to understand the whole appeal of why OpenClaw got so popular. I'll give you an example. I played around with Perplexity Computer and I asked, can you create an alternative dashboard for my Todoist? Like a different design that gives me a week view where I can see my tasks for the whole week and I can use drag and drop and just, I don't know. And I said, do something interesting with it. And it created it, like it took 10 minutes, but it created an alternative dashboard for my Todoist. And I could only use it by clicking on a thumbnail preview in the Perplexity Computer UI. And I said, well, is there a link for this? And it said, yeah, you can use this link. And then I asked, okay, but is this link like private just for me? Is it going to be indexed on Google? Is it going to show my tasks to anybody who can click on this link? And it said, yeah, it's not indexed on Google, but the link is public and your API token is baked in. I was like, wow, that's not ideal.
Nope.
Can you make it so that the Todoist token is saved in the browser's local storage? Like, so that only I, in my Safari, I need to put in my token and only I can use it? And it said, well, no, because these web apps are running inside of an iframe in the Perplexity Computer UI, and you cannot access local storage like that. And it said, but I can put up a password prompt to gate the app for you with a password. And so it did that. But that to me kind of exemplifies why nerds really like OpenClaw and why all of these other alternatives are taking some of the ideas, but they're not reaching the same potential. And I think Jason from the Discord actually got it right. Jason said the entire appeal of OpenClaw is that it's a lightsaber, which is both fun and extremely likely to slice your own hand off by accident. That's the point. Like with OpenClaw, since it's running on my computer, has access to my data, can use my one password, and can create web apps for me that I can access on my local network.
Yeah, I just can't even imagine. I know it's fun for you and I know you're doing your thing, but that is so scary to me.
It's not my full one password, obviously. I created a separate vault.
But even still, like, it's terrifying. OpenClaw seems very exciting, but also is terrifying to me.
It is terrifying if you. It is terrifying if you don't know what you're doing. Credit where it's due. They have shipped so many security updates in the past 2 weeks since the whole OpenAI thing. It's kind of ridiculous. Obviously, Peter was told, look, you gotta get help from other people and tighten the security of this thing, which he did. But all this to say, we're seeing these copycats now. And I think none of them will become as popular as OpenClaw, because there are so many. Because the moment that you're not running in a free space for the computer to build you things and do things, by nature is not going to be as flexible as OpenClaw, right? Cloud co-work could be interesting, but there's so much friction from my perspective. Like, first of all, I cannot use it from my phone, right? It's desktop only. And second, like, it's just so slow. I got to go to my Mac and open co-work, and then I got to start a new chat. And it's very clunky like that. Whereas with OpenClaw, I can just open Telegram and say, hey, can you build me an app to do, I don't know, to give me transcripts from a YouTube video or something. And it's going to do that. So lots of copycats coming out now. Lots of people saying, oh, we built this. It's OpenClaw for insert something.
OpenClaw for Uber.
It's like OpenClaw for Uber.
Because it was Uber for everything, right? That was the time,
Mm-hmm.
right? This is Uber for this.
So kind of interesting that all these companies are doing this now. When something gets popular, now you got all these companies doing the same thing, and these things go in cycles, which I think is always funny. But yeah, the capability overhang. That's what it is.
This is it in full living color. This is the capability overhang.
Yeah, now everybody wants to address the capability overhang, obviously.
This episode of Connected is brought to you by Insta360. You might already know Insta360 for their action and 360 cameras. Well, now they've taken all that imaging expertise and brought it to the webcam world with their newest conferencing products. The new Insta360 Wave and Link 2 Pro, their flagship 4K AI webcam. Insta360 sent me both of these products. I've been using them a lot for conference calls. I have a lot of conference calls these days, and my impressions of these products has been really positive. The camera looks awesome, and the Insta360 Wave is a great speakerphone. It's like this tower, this like little monolith on my desk. The camera can attach to the top of it, so it can just be one thing. I've got the camera mounted a little bit higher though, but I sound great, I look great, and people on the other end have noticed. The Link 2 Pro has a large 1/1.3 inch sensor with dual native ISO and HDR, which means you're going to get crisp, detailed 4K video, whether you're in a dim home office or sitting in front of a bright window. It creates a natural DSLR-style bokeh, so you stand out from your background without it looking artificial. And the 360 Wave, it really shines. It has a dual microphone system, both omnidirectional and directional, with AI noise cancellation and beamforming. You can switch up between 4 different pickup modes. So if you're in a noisy environment, focus mode isolates your voice. And if you're leading a meeting, wide mode clearly captures everyone in the room. And with built-in Insight AI, it can transcribe, summarize, and even visualize your meetings in real time. You get a clean transcript and key takeaways instantly, and you can sync everything to tools like Notion with one click. So instead of scrambling to take notes, you can actually focus on the conversation and let AI handle the rest. This is a serious upgrade for creators, streamers, and professionals who want to level up their setup without adding a bunch of extra gear. So if you're looking to elevate your video, audio, and productivity, check out the Insta360 Wave and Link 2 Pro at insta360.com. That's INSTA, insta360.com, or check out the link in the show notes. My thanks to Insta360 for the support of the show and all of Relay. The Rickies is a game connected hosts play before Apple keynotes in the beginning of a new year, trying to predict future events. It is made up of 3 rounds. Each host makes 2 regular picks followed by a risky pick. There are 2 types of Rickies, annual and keynote. Today we were playing keynote Rickies. The winner is named the keynote chairman, and this position is held until the next keynote. Hosts should be introduced at the top of each episode according to their current titles. In the event that a host has both annual and keynote victories, they shall be known as the Ricky Benchmen. After the Rickies, the host then play a game called the Flexies. These two games are separate but related. Please stand for the reading of the rules. Each host gets to make 2 regular picks. Host can be granted a bonus regular pick for any previously incorrect pick that has now come true from the last 3 corresponding games. A previously incorrect pick may only be used once. Correct regular picks are awarded 1 point. The language used for regular picks must be finalized and agreed upon during recording, and no partial points may be awarded. Risky picks have a more complex scoring system. Each host must make a pick with 3 supporting details. If you get all 3 details correct, you earn 2 points. 2 details correct gets you 1 point. If you get 1 detail correct, you get 0 points. And if you get all 3 details wrong, Jason Voorhees shows up at your house with a baseball bat. No, I'm just kidding. You just lose 1 point.
That
No
was
laughter?
Really weird.
Nothing?
That was really weird. Yeah, we have to bend down for this, you know?
Yeah, I guess you were. Yeah, you were far away.
Also, I thought that you called John Voorhees Jason Voorhees.
Yeah,
was the real
me
problem.
too.
Did I?
Then
So
I
thought,
realized.
No. I thought that's what you were doing. Like you were referencing John, but called him Jason, and one true Jason.
It fell apart. Points are only awarded based on details, not the overall pick. Picks must have been approved as risky by the other 2 hosts before the start of the game. Picks made for Keynote Rickies cannot be reused by the host who made them for the next Keynote. For Keynote Rickies, the scoring window starts when the live stream begins and closes when the picks are scored. Any information used in scoring must be publicly verifiable at the time of recording. We're going to come back to that in a second. All hosts are allowed to reuse picks previously made by others. Scoring is completed during recording and cannot be modified once an episode is complete. In the event of a tie, dice by PCalc must be used in relay mode to pick a winner. In the case of a 3-way tie, hosts all make their calls at the same time, with flipping continuing until a winner is named. Jason Snell previously had a lifetime ban on flipping coins, but he graduated Coin Flip University in 2024, it can now flip a coin under direct supervision. The order of picks is set by previous performance. The winner of the previous associated game goes first. That is Federico. The previous loser goes last. That's me. Winners will be recognized during the closing ceremonies. You may be seated.
Okay.
Real quickly, the scoring window starts when the live stream begins. Next week is expected to be a range of announcements. We're just going to close scoring when we record next week. So we all know what this is. It's a weird thing.
I guess for the purposes of this game, scoring can begin when this episode ends.
Sure.
and
Yeah.
we'll just pick it up next week.
So we're going to be gentlemen about that, obviously.
Yeah.
That brings us to round 1.
Okay. Now I'm up first. A new Mac laptop is announced in multiple colors. I mean, that's a pretty easy pick, it sounds like. And by multiple colors, I mean, technically speaking, silver and space gray are multiple colors. But I mean, multiple colors.
Right.
Actual colors.
You say a new Mac laptop. This is not just an M5 MacBook Air. You're thinking a new model.
Yeah. And I didn't want to say MacBook because, what if they call it an iBook?
Apple laptop. They just call it Apple logo laptop.
An iLap. I don't know, but yeah, a new Mac that's what I'm thinking, right? The new MacBook with multiple fun colors.
So so I'm gonna just check this with you. If they did silver, gray, and yellow,
it's multiple colors.
Okay, so you are counting that because you have already. I feel like you've referenced multiple times that here. So I just want to confirm this for the sake of the pick because I would give that to you. That's fine. But you said like, oh, gray is not a color, and then you just said multiple fun colors. So I just want to double check for the sake of this pick.
Yeah, even just one color in addition to silver and space gray should be fun. But we know that they're doing multiple colors. So
it would be funny that if they just did what they do right now, which is just silver, gray, and midnight, you would get this pick, even though it's not at all what we're thinking about.
Yes. With the technicality, I would get the point.
We love a technicality.
I'm all about the technicalities. Yes.
All right, should we move to my pick? We're going to talk
Mhm.
more about this laptop throughout the thing, I'm sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
My round one pick is that John Turnus is quoted in every press release about new products.
Now, this, for some reason, this to me feels more risky than it should be for a round one pick.
Oh, I'm living a life here. My whole Rickies today is like I'm just living life. This is my whole thing. Like I'm just like, let's just go for it.
I think you said in our iMessage that you vibe picked.
I did, yeah, because I had no ideas, and then so I just sat down and just started typing.
I'm mostly curious about the idea of vibe picking.
Yeah, because it's like I just felt like I didn't really put any thought into it. I just started typing into the document, and then I was done. Like I wasn't like usually when I'm picking for the Rickies, I work on it over the course of a week.
Right.
And then I will make notes in my Apple Note and kind of just like think about it. This time I just opened the Notion and just started typing, and then I was done.
Okay. I think it's risky because the CEO doesn't typically get quoted in, well, obviously he's not the CEO yet, but that kind of figure does not typically get quoted in all press releases. For example,
Exactly.
When I went looking for the old press release for the previous iPad Air, I believe they quoted the iPad marketing vice president from a couple of years ago. It's not a given that the chief of hardware at Apple will be quoted in the iPad Air M4 press release, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you're saying...
I'm saying it anyway.
They want to give John Turnus the exposure. You know, he's doing it for the exposure, just like any up-and-coming blogger. Yeah, okay.
My thing is they have quotes, right? Like they do have quotes from people in press releases, as you mentioned, right? There are quotes from all kinds of people. There's usually an executive and some kind of designer or whatever. It's not always, but often. And I'm just thinking this is what they're going to do. He's just going to have something to say constantly. And it makes me think of kind of the last time they did this, it was multiple days of announcements, and Turnus just kept appearing in them and hosting them. Do you remember when he like leaned down to the camera with the little Mac Mini and he's like, "Oh, hi," you know? That's what I'm thinking. So I do think there will be videos or video, but there will also be press releases, and I think he will have a quote in every press release. That's what I'm going with.
Okay. I like it. I don't know if it's going to be right, but I like it.
Exactly. That is vibe picking. That's what it's all about.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know it's going to be right, but you like it.
My round one pick is that the iPhone 17e is announced.
Okay.
Myke, you referenced when we were talking about Samsung. Apple seems to be moving towards this world where they're going to have, phones announced in the spring. They've done it with special colors like back in the day, like the yellow one or the green one. But the 17E, seems like it's going to be, the E is going to be an annual thing. Do it in the spring. And I think next year we're going to kind of fully move to that world. But 17E is coming.
Yep.
That's round one. Feel pretty good about all that.
Well, these two
except for Myke.
pretty good. One of them
Myke
is tenuous.
Yeah.
Or the
or
other two are pretty good.
It's tenuous, you could say.
Hey-o!
Yes.
I
wanted to
sorry.
be CEO right now so we can start doing these things, We're just like in the Turnus era. I'm in my Turnus era.
I mean, you could do it now. Like, he's cooking.
I mean my Turnus era. Is that
it would be like Turnus, right? That's my Turnus era, because you can put error in the middle there too. It's good. It's all good. It's all good stuff.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to round two. I'm going to continue with the 17. Hey, 17.
17.
Hey, I'm back. I'm a 17 now.
So just as a quick side note on that particular caricature accent, we got Sophia the Mario blocks for her birthday. Just great blocks. They're really expensive, but they're awesome. And so I've been doing lots of Mario accents at home. So it's been fun. I've been it's-a-meing a lot. So that's all I have for you.
Okay.
I was going to say, my round two pick is the new iPhone 17e supports MagSafe.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of ridiculous that the 16e didn't.
Mm-hmm.
This one better have it. And I mean, I could be fine with the 17E not fast charging via MagSafe as fast as the other phones do. It'd be kind of weird, but I will be okay with it. I just think they're gonna do the latest version of MagSafe, and that's it.
Be pretty good for them if they do this, because one, they should have done it in the first place, but people are criticizing that the Samsung phones, they didn't add magnets for their Qi 2 still.
Yeah.
So it would be good for Apple because people will be able to be like, look, they even did it on this phone now, put magnets on, which they always should have done. Unbelievable decision to not include magnets, considering that phone wirelessly charged. And it's like, well, it doesn't work with any of Apple's products because they all are supposed to line up, so it just doesn't work the way you want it to. Stuff.
I honestly think it's maybe even likely that it won't fast charge to the level the others don't. But
sure. But that's a fine thing to.
That's totally fine.
Cheap out on, I think.
I think so
charge
too.
Speed. My round 2 pick is that the MacBook has a screen smaller than 13 inches.
And
I'm committing exactly to that.
You said MacBook.
Yeah.
13.0. So if it's 12.9.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It will be called the MacBook, and the screen is smaller than 13 inches.
Okay.
That is my pick.
Very specific.
Mm-hmm.
I like this vibe picking, Michael, I gotta say. Yeah.
So here's kind of the thing. I'm not feeling particularly confident about the picks in general, especially my risky pick. So I'm going for glory now. Like, because if I so happen to win, the way in which I win will be very exciting, because I've really like gone for it this time. So there you go.
Okay.
I think it'll be interesting if they do it. I mean, this is based on rumor. Like, there has been some rumors that it will be less than 13 inches. And to me, it would just be very interesting if they do that. Like, what exactly does this screen look like? Like, I think I saw I see something today that some sources are claiming that this panel like won't be full P3 color. It will be dim. Yeah. Like, it looks like it might not be a very good screen.
Yeah.
And so that it's going to be really interesting. I think I also saw today no backlit keyboard is a possibility.
I don't like that.
This was I was saying to you guys about, I don't think on this episode, on episode of this show, but that like this might be the computer that I was able to convince Adina to upgrade to, because she loves the wedge-shaped laptop and doesn't want the new MacBook Air design because, I don't know, she lacks computer taste or something. I'm not sure what it is. And there is a strong likelihood that this will have a wedge-shaped design. And so I was like, oh, maybe we can, this is the computer that we can move her to. But I don't think she's going to like no backlit keyboard or whatever, if that's the thing. So we'll see.
Did she ghostwrite that MacBook, or that MacBook Air wedge is truly gone and I miss it already by The Verge?
I actually said this to her yesterday. I said, we make this joke about you, and I'm so happy that you've done it again.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, my wife wrote that. Wrote that article.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to turn left from the laptop and go. The base iPad is updated and supports Apple Intelligence.
Okay.
It does not support Apple Intelligence now. It's about due for an update. I think they'll do the minimum, but it's a little bit weird to me that iPad does not support Apple Intelligence, because it's a fine iPad for lots of people, and I think they want those features at the current state they are in as many hands as possible. So I think that base iPad's going to get a little bit of a bump.
Yeah, I remember there was a time when it was like, surely they won't release any more products without Apple Pay support.
Right.
Or something like that. Or there was like features like that, or like they won't release any more products without Retina, or they won't release any more products without Touch ID. Like these things that have been so obvious that they would eventually roll out. And surely they're not releasing any like quote unquote computer products that don't support Apple Intelligence now. Like that wouldn't make any sense at this point, even though Apple Intelligence kind of doesn't exist. But they should be releasing stuff that should in theory be able to support it. Like it wouldn't make sense at this point, when they have iPhone chips available to them that can do this, and the iPad can take one of those.
For sure. It's not in the pick, but I suspect nothing else will change with that iPad, but system on a chip update.
Maybe Logitech makes a new keyboard for it or something.
They just can't be stopped.
They love it.
Yeah.
New ways of doing it.
Kickstands, fabric, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
This episode of Connected is brought to you by Sentry. As a user of apps, how does smooth performance affect how often you use the app? Think about this. If you have an app that you use or a website or another product that is slow and clunky and buggy, you're not going to stick around. You're not going to keep that as part of your workflow. So if you have friends who are developers, they're going to enjoy Sentry because it means that their applications, their tools will not be like that. A lot of this comes down to getting to the problem. So there's plenty of AI tools now that can help you write code, but Sentry's Seer is built to help you fix it when it breaks. The difference is context. Seer isn't just guessing based on syntax, it's analyzing your actual Sentry data, your stack traces, your logs, your failure patterns. And because it has that full context, it can spot buggy code in review and help prevent issues before they happen, identify the root cause of production errors, and it can even draft a fix and hand off the work to an agent like Cursor to open a PR for you. Seer turns Sentry into a complete loop. If you have your traces, error logs, and replays, you can see the problem, and now AI can help you solve it. Join the millions of developers at companies like Claude, Disney Plus, and more who use Sentry to move faster. That includes our own developer here at Relay. So try it for free at Sentry, Sentry, Sentry.io, and tell them that we sent you. They have a free dev plan, and listeners of this show can use the code CONNECTED26 to get $100 in Sentry credits. That's Sentry.io and the code CONNECTED26 to get $100 in Sentry credits. My thanks to Sentry for their support of the show and all of Relay. That brings us to the risky picks.
Oh boy.
This was quite a week in our text thread, like going back and forth, trying to figure this out, what we wanted to do. So, Federico, you are up.
I would just say before Federico begins, his was the only pick that required no revisions.
Yes, you and I both had to spice ours up, but Federico just came out of the gate risky. I love it.
No one questioned his
Came out of the risky gate.
I actually spent a whole morning researching this stuff, and this was based on a single random rumor from a few weeks ago that it was picked up on a couple of Reddit threads, and it's a very technical thing that then I went down this rabbit hole reading about. You'll see. And I have absolutely no idea if this is going to happen. But we'll see. So the new M5 Max chip in the MacBook Pro comes with a new architecture that, condition number 1, better separates CPU and GPU inside the chip. Condition number 2, allows Apple to advertise higher sustained performance and better heat dissipation. Condition number 3, allows for more than 2 configuration options for the M5 Max. I will explain now.
Please.
So,
please.
Yeah. I don't even
the
why
idea,
it's like, why would you do that? I don't know.
There's this speculation going around that Apple will change how they integrate the CPU and the GPU parts of the Apple Silicon chip using this different technique that, and there's a Wikipedia page, this is called a 2.5D integrated circuit design. It's also called a 2.5D chiplet design. Now, without, obviously, I'm not an engineer, I'm not a scientist. The idea is that you're separating the CPU and the GPU in the substrate layer of the silicon in a different way that they are currently doing with Apple Silicon, where the transistors for the CPU and the transistors for the GPU are all integrated in the same layer, and that causes heat and performance throttling if the whole thing gets too hot. If you're using the CPU, it's also affecting the GPU. If you're using the GPU, since they're all so close together, it's also affecting the CPU and vice versa. You get the idea. And there's this rumor going around from a couple of places claiming that Apple is going to implement this 2.5D chiplet design, which is not a new thing. Then this is where I started doing the research. This is not a new thing. AMD started doing, for example, 2.5D chiplet design a few years ago, and that's one of the whole points of the Ryzen AI chips, for example, since they're using the 2.5D sublayer structure, they can push the CPU and the GPU independently without risking the kind of performance throttling and the kind of heat accumulation that currently happens on Apple Silicon. One of the complaints from a lot of people, especially M4 Max users, is that when you're really pushing the M4 Max, which, Steven, remind me, the M4 Max is 2 Pros fused together? Or 4
No,
Pros
the Ultra is 2 Maxes put together.
Yeah. So
and
the Ultra is 2
4
Max.
Maxes put together is a chip that people want to exist, and rumors are that it has existed and it's been abandoned.
The Extreme, yes.
And that would have been Extreme or Quadra or whatever people
Quadra,
like to
that's a
call
good
it.
name.
Yeah.
So that's condition number one. When I mention better separation between CPU and GPU, it means a different architecture for the chip, most likely inspired by what the rest of the industry has been doing, including AMD with the 2.5D chiplet design. If they do this, I would expect Apple to specifically call out higher sustained performance and better heat dissipation in a portable computer that has this new kind of max chip design. And we know Apple, and specifically we know Johnny Shruji, who, according to his own words, is not going anywhere anytime soon. And I'm sure Johnny would love to talk about what they have done with this new kind of max chip architecture. And the third condition is interesting. So, according to the research that I've done and the experts on Reddit that I've consulted, passively consulted, of course, since it was not a real interaction with them. But according to the experts on Reddit, one of the advantages of the chiplet design is that you can mix and match binned CPUs and binned GPUs with more freedom than a regular design. Since the two layers are separate, you can potentially offer more configuration options and therefore ask people for more money. And we know that Apple loves money. You can offer more configurations because you're not necessarily bound to the same layer of the CPU and the GPU being so close together. So you can mix and match multiple configurations for CPU and GPU more freely. So I would imagine right now you can configure the M4 Max with just 2 options. Maybe there's going to be 3 options. Maybe there's going to be 4 options at different price points, right? And that's my whole idea. I absolutely have no idea if Apple is doing this. I was using Google, I was using ChatGPT. I saw this rumor come up. It was picked up by a couple of sources. I thought it was interesting and different and risky enough, and I decided to go with it. So,
and here we are.
I have a couple of clarifying questions.
Yes.
Particularly about more than 2 configuration options.
Yeah.
So like right now, if I go buy an M4 Max MacBook Pro, I have 14 core CPU, 32 core GPU, or 16 and 40. You're saying a third one of that? Because I can also change memory and SSD storage, and like technically that's changes.
No, I'm only talking about the chip itself.
It's like core CPU and GPU.
Yeah.
Cores. Okay. Can I put that as ungraded in there just for future us?
Sure. Because like if I go here to the Apple Store and I pick 16-inch MacBook Pro, silver gray, standard display.
Something that could be in your favor on this is they did recently redesign the way that you configure a Mac.
Yeah.
So they made it more They made it kind of a little bit more like focused around optionality, but they didn't add any more options to it. So like it feels like that they did a bunch of changing things around without really giving you anything for it. So it's interesting.
It makes the website much better. The other thing I just want to point out that I think works in your favor here is that there's been reporting that like the M5 Pro is, quote, missing. I'm doing huge air quotes from code that people have seen, right? And so maybe the Pro is just a marketing name for like a low-end Max, and they all sort of share this new architecture.
This isn't 3 chips, it's 1 chip.
Are you getting it?
Yeah.
We call it M5.
So they just have 1 chip and it's just been differently.
It could be.
Yeah.
I think this is really interesting. I don't know if it's next week, but I do think you're onto something here.
Interesting. Well, I hope so. Yeah.
Really hoping for a lot of detail in that press release. For you here, Federico.
Or a Johnny Strugi video. I mean, I would take it.
Or a visit from Johnny Strugi.
Where?
Sure.
Here on Relay, yeah.
This is where he leaves. He leaves Apple, joins us.
Yeah.
Hey, we'd be down to talk about chiplets, right?
Oh, yeah.
We would do it.
I mean, we just did, or at least you did, and we listened.
Find you a podcast that can be funny and also talk about chiplets.
Chiplets is a pretty funny word, so it actually fits in pretty
I love
nicely.
the name. I love the name. Give me the chiplets, man.
He's a little chip. He's a little chip.
Little chippy.
Chip me, baby.
Chippy. That's what they should call it. There you go. It's interesting. All right, my pick is there is a new studio display.
Okay.
At least one model features a mini LED display with a 90 hertz refresh rate.
Ooh.
Apple will create a new name to describe this panel, something like Liquid Retina XDR. So, you know, when they come up with these brand names. So there'll be a new name to describe specifically what this is, mini LED with 90 hertz.
I got just a name for you, but I will wait.
Okay. The old Studio Display and Pro Display XDR are still available.
So this is a more expensive Studio Display kind of in your mind?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, I initially, when you shared these, I thought 0.3 was bananas. That there was just no way they were going to keep the Studio Display around. But maybe they keep it there to anchor that price point, and maybe they get rid of like the option with the fancy stand, right? Just like if you want a $1,200 base level display, you can get the Studio Display. I think if they leave it, the price should come way down. I don't think they'll do that, but
no, they won't do that. They'll just put a new one in at a higher price.
Do one in the middle. Obviously, we're ungraded territory now. Do you think the Pro Display XDR survives this, or do you think it kind of goes away if this new Studio Display is real?
I actually have something I'll share about that later on, but I do think the Pro Display XDR remains a product in the lineup. For some reason. Like, you know, like I don't know. It's like, why does it still exist now? But I think that I think they'll keep it around.
Yeah.
Fluid Retina.
Fluid Retina, that's what you think they'll call it?
Yeah.
I like that.
I like that too.
My thing is, if they do this, right, because like some of this is based on a multiple year old thing that came to the upgrade feedback form, right? Because they if it's 90 hertz, that's not ProMotion, so they won't call it that. And I don't think they will create a product name for 90 hertz. Like, I just don't think that's going to be a thing that you do. And so I could imagine them creating just like this is a new type of display that features these two things, like mini LED and a higher refresh rate than 60. But it's not going to be what's on everything, so they won't just call it like this is the Retina display. So I think, and we know they love to come up with names like Tandem OLED display or like whatever. So I can imagine some kind of new name to describe whatever is going on in this monitor.
It's really exhausting that they give each display a brand name. No one can remember them, but it's fine, I guess. Okay, my pick. There is a new entry-level Mac laptop powered by an A series chip. Point one. Apple calls it the MacBook, but mentions or shows the original colorful iBooks. Point 2, it has MagSafe and 2 USB-C, not Thunderbolt ports. Number 3, the base SKU has 8 gigabytes of RAM, is not available in all colors, and starts at $699. Ungraded, that price can be for the public store or educational buyers.
Okay.
Any thoughts?
I think that the price is just always a risk to predict, especially right now. I think 8 gigabytes of RAM is probably the reason for that. USB-C ports, I guess, right? Yeah. But I think the original colorful iBooks, that's your riskiest part, I think, of this whole thing, even more than the price. Because I don't know if they want to evoke that far back, especially when I don't think the colors are going to be what we want them to be.
Question though.
Yes, sir.
Can macOS run at all with 8 gigs of RAM?
Yeah, and
Can
that
Tahoe?
Yes, I mean I have an M1 MacBook Air. Like I have several in my family, and they're all on Tahoe, and it's mostly fine.
Okay.
So, okay. I think if the RAM situation was different in the world, like I don't think they love that they've got to do 8 if that's what they end up doing, but I don't know if they've got a choice right now to keep this thing reasonably affordable.
Yep. John Voorhees just texted us an article from Mac Rumors that Apple have reportedly agreed to double the price they're paying to Samsung for RAM.
Jeez.
Now, for Apple, I mean, like, that isn't a huge amount of money. Like, it isn't a huge amount of money per product, but it is an increase. Like, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what they do there, whether they're going to swallow that or not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's tough.
But I think it would, at least, if they're in a decision like this, of like, what are our SKUs? If they're introducing a new product, they would maybe introduce it with less RAM to begin with.
Maybe. And again, I think starting, right? I think that I suspect they will have an option to go to 16. I don't see them going above 16 for this, but you never know.
Maybe it starts with 4 gigabytes of RAM.
That would be bad.
Half a gigabyte of RAM. It's like, how much RAM can you need for Chrome? Because that's what people are going to use this computer for. What do you need it for, really?
They're really hearkening back to those old iBooks at that point.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, those are our risky picks. We all chose really different products. Federico's betting on the M5 Max and a MacBook Pro. Myke is looking for a studio display, and I'm interested in an entry-level Mac laptop.
Oh, I should mention, Mark Gurman says he doesn't think the studio display is coming next week. So I just want to put that out there for, again, the foolhardiness of my picks.
Yeah, that definitely makes it more risky.
Yeah.
This episode of Connected is brought to you by Squarespace, the all-in-one website platform designed to help you stand out and succeed online. I've been using Squarespace forever, but something new I'm doing with Squarespace is working in their newsletter system. Over at CrossForward, we've been using something else for our newsletters, and we wanted something more integrated, something more affordable, something easier to use. And so we moved those over to Squarespace. It means that we get all the awesome built-in tools for design in Squarespace, but applied to a newsletter. All the branding and our colors, everything move right over. And with their analytics, we can keep track of how those email campaigns are performing. So we can learn what's working and what's not. And those analytics are really cool. You can also use it to track revenue from bookings, invoices, or product sales if you're using those parts of Squarespace. So whether you're just starting out or you're scaling a business, Squarespace has everything you need to claim a domain name, showcase your offerings with a professional website, grow your brand, and get paid all in one place. Head on over to squarespace.com/connected for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use the offer code CONNECTED to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain name. That's squarespace.com/connected and the offer code CONNECTED to get 10% off your first purchase and to show your support for the show. My thanks to Squarespace for their sponsorship of this show and all of Relay. The Flexies is a game held after each edition of the Rickies. It consists of a series of additional picks in relation to the upcoming Apple event or year. Scoring is completed separately from the main game, but like the Rickies, the order of picks is set by the results of the previous game, and ties will be broken using dice by PCalc. Please lie down as the rules are read. Host must make a minimum of 5 Flexi picks. Each correct pick is awarded 1 point. Wrong picks do not remove any points, and no partial points may be awarded. The winner is determined by comparing the percentage of correct Flexis made by each host. The winner can use their chosen title as long as they are the winner. Federico shall be named Prince Flexi and is known as King Flexi when having won both the keynote and annual games. Myke has chosen Duke of Flexington and Archduke Flexington when applicable. I am the, sort of regrettably at the moment, Attorney General Flexi, and I use the title Secretary of Deflex when necessary. Loser of the Flexis must compensate the winner of the Flexis by donating to a charity of the winner's choice. The amount of the donation is $25 per wrong Flexi made by the loser. The money must be donated on air. And if someone holds all 4 titles, well, they're allowed to choose their own nickname because they are all powerful. You may get up. You don't have to lie down anymore.
Okay.
Okay. I'm the keynote Flexi winner currently. Attorney General Flexi. So that means I get to go first. And I thought this was really clever when I wrote these down. And now I sort of worry that I made a mistake. I went all in on the MacBook for this. So there is a silver MacBook. There is a blue MacBook. There is a yellow MacBook.
This is ridiculous.
There is a pink MacBook. There is not an orange MacBook.
This is unhinged.
Why did you do this?
Because if I'm right, it will go down in Flexi history. Going for glory.
Looking at these pics in the document is absolutely ridiculous. A pink MacBook.
A pink MacBook.
Okay. Is there anything else to say here? Myke, do you have any comments?
I mean, I don't. It's bold. I think you might only get one of them. Because I respect it. I respect it. I like going all in on something. I think even if they don't call it MacBook, I'll be fine with giving you these points. But wild stuff.
Yeah. If it's MacBook Air and it comes in all these colors, then I will throw myself at the mercy of the court.
Okay. Well, I guess I'm up, and I don't have picks like Steven. Number 1, the new this was actually inspired by OTJ, so thank you, John. The new low-cost MacBook comes with a slightly more expensive cellular option.
No way.
I mean, it
way.
has a phone chip. It has a phone chip inside. What better way to start testing cellular?
Unhinged.
No, I saw John put this on Mastodon, and look, what are you smoking? This is a high end. Why would they put this in the cheap MacBook? This is going to be a MacBook Pro feature first.
Because they like money. They love money.
Then put it in the MacBook Pro. People who buy one of these are not going to be interested in spending $130.
Did I say anything about your multicolor Flexis?
That's a great point.
You did
That's a
actually
great
kind
point.
of say.
You're being
I think you said they were
very
unhinged.
disrespectful. You're being very disrespectful right now. I don't know. This seems mean.
Number 2, the new low-cost MacBook cannot charge as quickly as a MacBook Pro. Gonna be slow.
Yeah.
Gonna be slow like a phone. Number 3, John Turnus is photographed in person at one of the media events. And number 4, Tim Cook is not photographed in person at any of the media events.
Ooh.
Interesting. I mean, that makes sense though, because I think when they did the one that me and Federico went to, I don't think Tim was anywhere. Like I think they only had photos from the London one, and it was Craig and John.
And number 5, the new MacBook will not support Wi-Fi 7.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Myke, you're
all
up.
right. RAM prices do not change on the MacBook Pro.
Okay.
I think they're gonna just deal with it.
Okay.
At least in the beginning. I think I am on team. They want to keep it as they don't want to make things as flexible as other companies might be willing to do. Pick number 2, M5 Pro and M5 Max come to the MacBook Pro. They will still have two. They will still have 2 branded products there. Pick number 3. Nothing changes for the Mac Pro. So it remains, and they do nothing to it. Number 4. There is a video released to the public on Wednesday.
Okay.
Pick number 5. Apple's press release touts Apple Intelligence features coming to the iPad. They talk about writing tools and show a screenshot from Image Playgrounds.
Okay. Very specific.
They always do this, right? Because they're like, hey, we have Apple Intelligence, which includes Image Playgrounds. Here's an image. They do it all the time. Number 6, an image of a Formula One car finds its way into a press release or video.
Yeah.
Pick number 7, Apple mentions their 50th anniversary in this year.
Okay.
Or being this year. I wrote in, that doesn't make any sense. But it is the 50th. This is the first product releases in the 50th anniversary. I could see them, if they do Steven's many colors, this is the way that they could mention it. I think that they will mention it somehow. So I think that's going to happen in this year. Steven, you've been very distracting in the document. You're moving things all over the place. Can you please tell me what codes you're writing? What is this? What are you doing?
You said RAM prices do not change on the MacBook Pro, and I want to make sure that we know what those M4 prices are now.
It is hilarious to me that you don't think a million articles will be written about this.
Yeah, maybe.
That you think that there is a need to write it down. I mean, I'm pleased you can do it for posterity's sake, but whether they change it or don't, there will be 1,000 headlines about this. So I don't think it's going to take a lot of work to find this information out, but I respect your thoroughness, even though it's making it hard for me to read my own picks.
Things are moving around, but we're doing it live.
I would like to bring in a piece of breaking news,
Ooh.
which is truly astounding to me. So this just happened. Netflix produces a show called Drive to Survive about Formula One. It's a documentary series. Today, Apple and Netflix have announced a partnership where season 8 of Drive to Survive, which comes out tomorrow, is going to be on Apple TV as well as Netflix.
Huh.
And the Canadian Grand Prix on May 22nd will also stream on Netflix as well as Apple TV in the US.
Wow.
So they've done a deal. Apple have gone to Netflix and said, we would really like to have Drive to Survive. How can we do this? And Netflix have said, okay, you can do this. 1 season, probably only, right? So people will have to go and get Netflix if they want the other seasons, but we want something in return. And Apple said, what about an entire Formula One race? This is amazing. And this is the quote from Eddie Q, which is so true. We're excited today to announce something I think no one was expecting. And it's that we've teamed up with Netflix, which is just a great thing. It's such an Eddie Q thing to say. Yeah, so it's coming tomorrow. Unbelievable news. This is unbelievable news to me.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. It's a masterstroke. Again, this is Eddie. This is his thing, right? If he made this happen, this is a genius move for helping drive excitement about Apple TV and Formula One, and getting people who are Formula One Apple TV customers to get ready for the Formula One season. Like we had someone write in an upgrade asking this question, like, how do I, like, I'm interested in watching it. How do I get started? The answer is Drive to Survive. That's how people get educated about the show, about the season, about the sport. Each season, tells the story, but like you will want to watch it, and if you've never watched a Formula One race, you will know all of the context for this season by watching the most recent series of Drive to Survive. So it's brilliant that they've done this. I would love to have seen that deal being made. This is fascinating to me, but bravo to everyone involved, I think. That's my little piece of breaking news. Yeah, that's all I know. That's all I have. I just wanted to mention it.
All right. Well, thank you for listening to this week's episode of Connected. We'll be back next week to grade all of these picks, potentially name some new winners, potentially keep me the winner of everything. You just never know. Just see what happens. If there's not a MacBook, I'm in trouble.
Keep you the winner of everything? You're not currently the winner of everything.
I could be, though.
You could be. I mean, so could I.
We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to find links to the stuff we mentioned, it's in the show notes at relay.fm/connected/592. There you can send us feedback or follow-up. You can also join and get Connected Pro, which is a longer and ad-free version of the show that we do each and every week. This week we spoke about the Gurman report about touch coming to macOS, with the M6 class of MacBook Pros being equipped with touch screens. Really interesting stuff in that report, and I think all three of us are excited to see what that could be. Those links, of course, are also in your podcast player. I'd like to thank our sponsors this week, Insta360, Sentry, and Squarespace. And until next time, guys, say goodbye.
Arrivederci.
Cheerio.
Bye, y'all.